you're a superstar and you're the focal point of an offense, and you come to a team and you're basically a role player for a while, it's hard. It's a very hard role to accept. And just told him this team is special. I mean, and you're a huge part of it. Embrace your role. You never know when your role is going to change. And then Roe got hurt. You know, he got COVID, then he got hurt. And so, yeah, I'm really proud of Leonard and the way he's handled it.
Appreciate it. We'll go to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, when we spoke with you last night, you weren't sure who the opponent was. We now know it's the Chiefs. What can you say about this rematch from Week 12?
Yeah, I mean, that game was, you know, that was one that was, we were, I think, down 17, and then we came storming back and just couldn't get the ball back. Should be a great game. Should be a really good game. And they're a hell of a football team, and they're super well coached by Andy and his whole crew, Spags and everybody. Great players, so it should be fun.
You actually finished with a better away record than you had a home record. Obviously, the last 3 games on the road in the playoffs. But just speak to to any type of advantage you might have, playing the Super Bowl at Raymond James Stadium.
I think the big advantage is we stay in our own beds and sleep here and just do our normal routines. Nothing's out of the ordinary until we hit the media sessions next week. But everything else, just to be able to stay in your routine, sleep in your bed, and all that stuff I think it's a huge advantage.
Thank you, Bruce.
You bet.
We'll go to Ira Kaufman.
All right, Bruce, 2 months have gone by, so you can finally tell the story, Mr. Arians. What the heck did you do or say to this team when you were 7-5? You just lost to the Chiefs. You're going into the last quarter of the season. You haven't lost since, Bruce. What the heck happened during that bye week?
Just a little bit of looking inside and knowing this is a really good football team. We lost some close games to some really good teams, and we have to find a way to win. And it's going to take everybody. There's things that are going to happen, but if everybody just digs a little bit deeper, we'll figure out ways to win games. And once we get going, we're going to be hard to stop.
And Bruce, with Shaq Barrett and JPP playing such prominent roles yesterday, is that a coincidence that was the day Vita Vea came back to the lineup?
It helps. It helps to have Sue and Vita, and that's for sure. But those guys, they allowed us to just play a little bit of deep zone stuff, and the front four was fantastic. They really got after them.
We'll go to Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Bruce, this is obviously a different Super Bowl for so many reasons. And I'm just curious because you have been there before. If you're on the Chiefs side of things and you don't fly down early the way they're doing it, you mentioned staying in your own bed, and they're going to do that more so than they would at a normal Super Bowl when you fly down the week before. How much of an advantage, or is it at all at this time of year, to have these 2 weeks in your climate and your temperature? Does that matter? Would you prefer, like if you were on the other side of things, to be in your own bed, or is it an advantage for you guys that they don't come down until late?
Yeah, I think it really helps them. Normally when you get to town at the Super Bowl, everybody's pulling and tugging. You try to get everything done the week before, and then when you hit town, you got all the media obligations, and your practice and your game plans are all put in. I think it's a great advantage for them. It's just an away game. They get to do their normal prep just like we do. So nobody's going to get tied up in all that stuff.
I guess on the flip side of that, though, you guys have your guys at home, and I know they've done a good job this year of being careful. I mean, when you talk about like distractions, I mean, they're at home, so you can't even really sequester them in that way. How much do you think about that and the distractions you have playing at home with family, friends?
Yeah, I think our guys have done a great job of being accountable to each other with COVID all year, and we'll continue to do that. Talked about, family and friends testing before they ever enter your home, and make sure to get everybody tested and be very, very smart about it.
We'll go back to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, in covering you over the last 2 years, there's a few things that stand out. You're not afraid to be bold. You have a lot of conviction to you, and, you stick by what you believe in. And you could see that when you went out and said at the combine that you wanted Tom Brady, or when you made the decision to bring in Antonio Brown, when you challenged players to step up beyond just protests, and to take action, and you saw the changes that took place with the Social Justice Committee. And so I'm just, from kind of a personal standpoint, if you could just speak to the importance of having conviction and sticking true to your beliefs, staying true to your beliefs as a head coach.
Yeah, I think that's true just to be a person. I think what we're going through as a country, and what we're going through with the virus, and everything, you just have to be committed. And for me, it's easy. We have a cause. And when you get committed to a cause, and our cause is to put rings on our fingers, you do everything you can to reach that goal.
We'll go over to Luke Easterling.
Bruce, obviously, we saw big plays from some of your most important players, the big names. We've already talked, so much about what this means for Tom to go back to the Super Bowl. But can you point to maybe a couple of players or even moments or plays in that game Sunday that really turned the tide or were really key that maybe don't get enough credit right now?
Yeah, I think Sean's interception was huge. It was really, really big. I think our offensive line and tight ends, I mean, they don't get enough recognition how good they're playing these last few weeks. And the protection has been outstanding. We missed one blitz pickup that led to an interception, and that was probably the only really bad play. But everybody's, all the big names, it was a 5-star game, and the 5-star players should show up.
We'll go to Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Bruce, you've got another rematch. Obviously, you had one with the Saints and then Green Bay. Now it's Kansas City again. Do you prefer facing a team in this situation that you've already seen during the regular season? Does it make the preparation a little bit easier, or do you have to he thinks, she thinks that way?
Yeah, I mean, you go back, you look at the game and what matchups you had. And so, yeah, this one's, again, familiarity helps. I'm not really excited playing Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and Mahomes. That's a formidable challenge, but our guys will be up for it.
Go to John Romano.
Hey, Bruce, when you looked at this team 2 years ago, what was the first thing you thought needed to happen to reach this point? Was it personnel? Was it mindset? Was it teams? What did you want to change first?
The culture and breaking that losing culture. We got so close our first year to getting 8-8 or 9-7. But to set that culture and to build a defense that could win championships. And we had a lot of the pieces here on defense.
And how do you go about changing the culture?
It's accountability. It's accountability to the cause, and honest to God, caring for each other. If you don't care about each other, you won't be accountable to each other. And this team is really, really close.
We have time for a few more. We'll go over to Steve Isbitz. Steve? Okay, we'll go to Ira Kaufman.
Bruce, I don't want to spoil your day, but you got Travis Kelce dead ahead. Bruce, you've been around a lot of great tight ends. You've seen a lot of great tight ends. To me, this is the guy that stirs the drink in Kansas City. The third down target. How do you contain this guy?
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, I mean he reminds me a lot of Tony Gonzalez back when he was unbelievable, just trying to stop him.
Thanks,
because he's got wide receiver skills and he runs like a wide receiver. He runs routes like a wide out. He beats corners. So it's a hard challenge, but Todd will come up with some schemes. But again, we got to get after the quarterback, and we can't let him run around and make those crazy plays that he and Kelsey do so well.
Okay, we're going to close out one from Joey Knight.
Coach, going back to that first Chiefs game, I think a lot of people remember Tyreek Hill. What sticks out in your mind about that game? Any endearing images from that game?
Yeah, just not getting that ball back at the end, and making a good comeback. And we'll